Okay, by treating the horse leg, we can still place the return electrode on the back, because it's very easy to put it there and it's out of the way when you sit working and you're not in the way with the legs on the horse. But first, before we place it there, we have to water the coat on the fur, because to get good connection. So we wetten it, hopefully with some warm water. The horse accepts that a little bit better than the cold water. Just moisten it and wetten it enough, and after that we're gonna add some conductive cream to get the optimal connection. So we use this Skanlab cream or Vet cream, because it's made for this machine and this kind of treatment, so we get the optimal electric field through the horse to be able to get the treatment going on the leg. So I add enough cream. Massage it down a little bit in the coat, and after doing that we're gonna go down to the leg and prepare the leg as well before we attach the electrode. Okay, then attaching the return electrode, we use a rubber band and put it around the body of the horse in the moist, and then we have this knot which make it easy to tighten the band to get optimal connection. And I put the knot where I'm expecting to have the return electrode, because that gives some extra pressure on the return electrode if it's underneath the knot. Just have to find the band here behind. This is almost like pulling the saddle. He was a little bit thicker than I thought, so we just have to move this, and that's the easy why we have so many holes. We can move this around a lot and use it wherever it's needed. Then we should be good. And I tighten it firm, but not like he's stopped breathing. And I can tighten it even a little bit more. And I do that after putting the return electrode underneath. Then I have put the electrode underneath the rubber band, and I also put the cable just underneath the band. Then it won't be moving around. If the horse moves around, it won't pull the electrode away or something like that. So that's a kind of security for having it underneath there and keep it staying there. Just be sure that you get it proper underneath the knot. Now we're going to look into the diagnosis tendinopathy, also called the bowed tendon. It's a very speaking word, because you see the tendon on the horse is standing in a bow, and swelling comes together with that. This diagnosis is coming on a lot of sport horses due to an overload of training or activity, and it flushes up really quick actually when it comes. And how do you know it's a bow tendon? Well, first you see it. Second, the horse is lame, he won't walk proper, and the swelling will probably start slowly and build up in 1 to 2 days to the maximum. Treating this has a nice prognosis. This horse we see here next to me, I'm going to demonstrate it on, has had this actually on one of the legs 1.5 years ago. You can't see any marks of it after treating that horse today. He had treatments for every day for the first 5-6 days, and then every second day the second week, and every third day the third week, and starting rehabilitation after approximately like 25 days. And that we see that building him slowly up, coming back to activity, and after 2.5 to 3 months he was totally free from the problem and was back in the show pen again. And that is your aim, that's your goal. Decrease the rehabilitation time as much as possible, but still responsible. Not force them into action too early, but if you do this, you will probably decrease the rehabilitation time with 50% compared to just let them rest, give them anti-inflammatory medicine or injections or shots. So this will probably decrease the rehabilitation time a lot. Now we're going to start the treatment of bow tendon. I suppose that you have had an ultrasound scanning of it first to see where the main issue of the bleeding in the core of the tendon is. And if you know that, you treat that area, but you see mostly the bow over the whole tendon. So we treat more than just the affected area, we actually treat more or less the whole tendon. And that gives us a little bit longer treatment time on this diagnosis compared to several other diagnoses. Here we have a treatment time of 10 minutes, and these are still fixed and set parameters on the TCAR VM, and also called the Skanlab VET in Scandinavia. Preparing the tendon with a cream, then we are ready to go. We put on, pinch the on button, we see the green light, and then we are ready to start moving. Here you can also choose doing one side for the half of the treatment time, and then the other side for the half of the treatment time. I prefer working it a little bit on both sides during the whole treatment time, but there's nothing wrong to do one side first, but I prefer doing the whole area. And like you see, I'm working more or less the whole tendon here, compared to if you should be treating a check ligament, for example, which is a very localized area. This is more the whole tendon you have to work. And nice rhythm in your moves, and not too quick. The horse might feel a little bit uncomfortable if you're too quick with your hands. The nice and firm contact and a good rhythm with the treatment hand. If the horse feels getting too warm or start to move around being uncomfortable, first you check with your fingers that it's not feeling too warm, but should be nice warm in the tissue but not heating. And if it still starts to moving around the horse, then you just decrease the energy level by pinching the minus once first. And further on in the treatment you might need to do that once more, but normally you should be able to stay more or less on the energy level that you had for the whole treatment. If there's a horse with big white socks and there is no pigmentation underneath the white fur, and then you should be a little bit more careful, because they feel the heat quicker in one or another reason, so you have to decrease the energy level maybe a little bit quicker. After treatment we should get rid of the cream and using nice warm water just to wash it off as good as possible. And after washing it off we have to dry the coat as good as possible with a towel or paper to get the most of the lubrication cream out of the fur and away from the skin. There's nothing danger having there, but just to be sure that you don't let too much moist and cream stand there for a long term, it's nice to get rid of it as good as possible.